unfortunately, Mackenzie Hughes' season is now over. I'm sure we'll see him a couple times during the fall. But Mark, how about Taylor Pendrith? He was the only Canadian to actually climb in the FedEx Cup standings. He's now 35th in the FedEx Cup standings, and he heads to a golf course this week. It's a big ballpark, and given what you've seen from Taylor Pendrith the last couple of weeks, do you think his game is ready to make a big move to advance to the Tour Championship?
I do, Adam. I really do. And you mentioned it on Golf Talk Canada radio this week about, his putting. This was a guy who was in the top 10 in strokes gained putting last season on the PGA Tour. And up until this week, he's pretty much lived outside the top 100 on the PGA Tour in strokes gained putting. When we leave FedEx, he had a reasonably better week than he's had throughout the season, but it's still nowhere near what we saw last year and nowhere near the rest of his game. So why would I be optimistic? Well, he doesn't need to go back to the top 10. He needs to just be average. We're in a field of 50 players this week on the PGA Tour. If he can be in the top 30, maybe top 20 in strokes gained putting, maybe just better than half the field, call it 22nd. I think the rest of his game is good enough where he can move up and grab a spot at Eastlake. And here's the other good news. This is one of the best overall drivers of the golf ball in the game. You mentioned it. This is an adult-sized ballpark. Last time we were here, Bryson DeChambeau almost got the victory, ended up losing to Patrick Cantlay in a playoff. So bombers do well here, and overall drivers of the golf ball do well here. His best stat is strokes gained off the tee. That's his number one stat on the PGA Tour. A lot of things lining up for Taylor Pendrith. He's got to play well. I mean, it's getting tight. He's got to move up 5 spots. That's a big ask, but it would not surprise me if we saw a top 5 finish from Taylor Pendrith this week. Could be a bit of a value play here for those of you interested in that type of thing.
We'll make our picks for the BMW Championship a little later in the show, but that, my friends, is a little teaser there from the Z-Men. But when you look at the other two Canadians, Corey Connors leading the way at 16th in the FedEx Cup standings, Nick Taylor at 22. Both will very, very likely be at the Tour Championship. So, Mark, for the final two playoff events of the season, who do you think performs better, Corey Connors or Nick Taylor?
I'm going to go with Nick. And the only reason I'm going to go with Nick is in his post round comments in his interview with Bob. I hear a little bit of Nick Taylor kind of angry. He's kind of a little disappointed and thinks he should get better out of his game and thinks he should do more. And I mean, I'll bet on Nick Taylor every day of the week when he's got a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? Or when he sniffs it on a Sunday, etc. He's got some sandpaper. And with Corey, it's kind of we're kind of back to the same story we've always been. He's just burning edges, and there's two sides of burning edges. You either go, oh well, one of these days the hole's going to open up and they're going to start to fall, or the hole starts to shrink. And this late in the schedule, this late in the season, I don't know, it's tough. You got to make putts, and we're not seeing it yet. So if I had to choose, even though both of them I think are going to Eastlake, I do believe that they're both going to be part of the Tour Championship. If I had to go with one of them, I'll go for Nick Taylor.
I have to agree. I think Nick Taylor has played very consistently throughout most of the season, has that win early on as well. So we're on the same page here. We both like Nick Taylor for the final 2 weeks of the FedEx Cup playoffs.